Welcome to Tough Talk. Join the conversation with Kiwi men as they tell their stories and talk about what they do for me time, what it takes to be tough on the inside, and how to be a good mate.
Yeah, Mum! Yeah, Mum! See slobber on it.
Slobber on the end of the camera.
That's part of life. You get used to bodily fluid.
Yeah! So I just thought we could start off by just hearing a little bit about yourself.
So I had a standard New Zealand sort of upbringing in a probably slightly above average family. You know, my father was a lawyer and quite well off. But and I got married and had a lovely family, 4 children. But unfortunately, my wife had a stroke when she was really young. She was 32 years old and had a stroke, and left me with 4 children. But I'm quite privileged that I had that opportunity, because I thought I was a good dad and did more than my fair share of looking after 4 children until I had them myself, and I realised how little I actually did. For nearly 15 years I brought up these 4 children who I'm really proud of. They're very nice, independent young children. They're all working and having successful relationships, and I've got a daughter with 2 grandchildren who I really love. I really love grandchildren. They're the best children to have because you can give them back, as everybody says.
So it sounds like you did a good job as a father. I'm wondering, how do you deal with the stressful times? Like, what do you do?
Well, there was no mechanisms for dealing with stress because big boys in New Zealand don't cry, so I had some terrible mechanisms for dealing with that. So one of them was I'm a crazy driver, so if I was really stressed out, I'd go out on the road and drive crazy in my car. And I've got a motorbike as well, so the motorbike's the same. I could go and ride the motorbike and do crazy stuff on the motorbike. And I guess drugs as well, you know, illegal and legal drugs. So, but they don't ever fix anything, you just cover it up. But
That's right.
I guess the driving is a bit like the woodshed. It's a testosterone thing, and certainly it helps you get that male frustration out of your system. But I don't do it anymore because it's, you know, you put other people's lives at risk, not only your own when you're on the road. Yes.
So now you're
That's
doing
not very
things
good.
like cutting wood.
So now my thing is wood. So I like to chop wood.
What do you think you're doing in those moments?
I think I'm hunting animals, really. I think, you know, that's what we've done for millions of years, is the males have gone out and hunted and had this amazing, you know, thing going on with the testosterone and that, you know, that fight and flight thing. And we don't do any of that anymore. So I think we're just releasing that testosterone, which is no good in your system. It needs to go. So by doing heavy physical activity, by getting really annoyed, angry, scared, you know, that gets out of your system. So you're not doing it to your family and the people that live close to you.
That's
and
right.
You're not blaming, I blame the wood, so, you know. And we don't fix things at the top of the cliff before people jump off. We're always cleaning up the mess.
And that's it. And that's actually, you know, big motivation for me coming here actually is to sort of trying to help people learn what they need to do while they're at the top of the cliff.
Yes.
Not the bottom.
Yes,
So
yeah,
that's awesome
yeah.
when you talk about that.
And that's why our jails and our hospitals are full of people, because they are all at the bottom of the cliff.
I've noticed there's a lot of men in those spaces, New Zealand men.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, why do you think that is? If you can speak from your own experience of, you know, getting into that space where you're doing dangerous things.
Yes, I think it's because of that testosterone thing, because women don't have that. When women stress out, they tend to curl up into a ball and be quiet, whereas men want to go out and bash each other up or bash their car up, or with me, it's wood. So, and we don't teach our children that. You know, we need to teach our children to do that. We need to unwrap our children now. You know, we need to let them play rugby and kingasini and climb trees and do those things that let them release that energy, because the energy's there, and the more you close it down, the more it's going to come out in violent and inappropriate ways.
I totally agree. I think one thing I have noticed a lot of women do, perhaps not all, is actually let it out by talking about what's going on.
Oh yes,
I think
definitely,
that's
yes.
probably quite a big difference.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I mean, we're actually talking about it. you
Yes.
know? So we're kind of defying something that seems to be in New Zealand culture.
Yes.
Do you think you can talk a little bit about that from your experience?
Well, you know, when I was a kid, we were always told to, you know, be seen and not be heard, and just to harden up. So if something went wrong, you didn't want to go and talk about it. We were taught not to talk about stuff and not to release it. And we still are doing that with our children today, even more so, because like I see parents now and their children are upset, so they go and put them in front of the television or give them the computer, or they don't communicate. We're still not a communicating society. And certainly when I brought up my children, I really wanted them to be able to talk. So our thing was dinner time, so at dinner time we always turned off the TV and we sat around the table and talked. And even now when my family gets together, other people that are involved get quite alarmed because we talk about shit and death and and you know and what animals we're eating. And when I grew up, I was really scared of death because we never talked about death. We didn't know what it was, but you never included children in death. But I always did. You know, when I've had relations that died, I take my children to funerals, even when they were really young babies. I think it was really important that they understood that, because if they don't understand it, they don't see it, it becomes something that they're scared of and comes out in other weird ways. And male aggression is one of those. And especially about the family. To me, family is extremely important. And I don't mean like in the past, the family's been important, but families have been roped in and corralled and contained. And I still see people doing that. They want to contain their family, but it's not. It's to make your family strong, you've got to let them go. You've got to make them capable of looking after themselves in society, and when they come back, they'll come back of their own accord.
So I sort of one last thought, Ian. I've really enjoyed coming out here and seeing your property and your lifestyle. And I was wondering, you know, it takes a lot of work to get to this place, and I'm wondering a little bit about how we do that.
The only thing you can do is change your own environment, the things that affect you up close and personally. You can't change other people's, you can only change your own. And if other people see what you're doing and want to come along for the ride, well, that's what you hope they do. And that includes your friends and your family, your next door neighbours, any people that you come in contact with on a daily basis. Smiling at the postman or stopping to help somebody on the side of the road that's broken down. Those are the things that make the difference in our society. So those are the things that motivate me to do the best I can with the very short time I have on this earth. And I don't want to waste any of it now being angry or annoyed with people or well, I want to minimise that. The best way to teach people is by example.
I think that in itself is an awesome lesson. It starts with ourselves.
And I think our society now is all about instant gratification, and you've really got to forget about the instant thing, because it's like being a gardener. You know, you can't have ripe tomatoes the next day after you think you want some. You know, there's a lot of preparation that's got to go into it. And I think the changes we need to make in our society are ones that we need to make over generations. We need to be looking after our environment not for 1 year, not for 10 years, but forever. We need a plan for our environment forever.
I couldn't agree more. I like to, we work on ourselves, but then we actually work beyond ourselves too and look at the big picture. Like what's happening with the environment, what's going to happen over generations.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's very wise.
Yeah, but we live in a very short-term, instant gratification society, don't we? Everybody wants it today. They don't even want to wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow is too far away.
Well, let's change it.
Yes, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Ian.
But it's just a little grain of sand at a time. So, yeah. Let's not dig up the whole beach.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Ian.
No worries. Good to meet you.
You too.
Please, please.
Kia ora. If you like what you see, follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube or go to our website to sign up for email updates from me. Keep liking and sharing our videos to grow the movement. Peace.
As I wipe the slate clean, share